Today we will take a look at vendor account groups in SAP. Let's open them via transaction code OBD3. That's OBD3. And over here you can see a bunch of account groups already existing in my system. Account groups demonstrate certain properties and represent a collection of attributes that control the creation of master data for our vendors. Account groups control the number ranges that can be used and whether they are internal or external. So when we are creating vendor master data, a number range will be assigned by the system, and this number range depends on the account group of that vendor. Then the field selection based on required display hidden or optional fields. So the account group also controls which fields are maintainable when creating vendor master data. The partner roles that can be utilized. So as you know, in the vendor master record, we have the tab called partner functions. For instance, a deviating ship to address, invoicing party, and so on. So this is also monitored via the account groups, and whether so-called vendor subranges and plant-specific master data is permitted. All of this we will now see. So first of all, you can see over here that our account group will receive an ID. This ID is alphanumeric and 4 characters long. And then we can provide a name for our account group over here. Let us actually create a new one from scratch via new entries. Define a name, let's say ZABC. Then the meaning, this is a test group. And then over here you can see we could mark over here that this account group or vendors created in this account group are one-time vendors. So one-time accounts. So one-time accounts are basically accounts on which the transaction figures are recorded for a group of vendors that we only conduct business once or let's say rarely. So those kind of accounts here require a special master record where we do not include all of the information for the vendor master, but only some information. And the other information is filled directly during the execution of certain transactions, so to say. But for now, this is a normal account group, so not for one-time accounts. And then you can see over here field status. We have 3 tabs: general data, company code data, and purchasing data. Double click on general data, for instance. And then you can see there are so-called selection groups. Let's click on one of them with a double click. And as I've said before, now we could here specify what kind of entries during the master data creation, so during the creation of the vendor master, should be suppressed, should be required, optional, or display only. For instance, we always want the name 1 to be filled, so we make it the required entry, the search term as well, name 2 should only be display, and so on and so forth. Let's go back and back again. And you could do the same for company code data and purchasing data. Let's go back and actually save this one. And you can see the account group ZABC has been created successfully. We can even specify if the field should be required or display and so on for individual company codes, which is done via transaction code /n OB24. That's /n OB24. Here you can see right now we have only one entry, which is default field status for all company codes. Let's double click on this one. You see the same screen as you have seen before in the account group itself. And basically SAP recommends us to go via the account group, so on a more high level, so to say, and not to define our field selection differently for different company codes. If we still intend to do so, we could do this via new entries over here, then search for our company code, double click on the company code itself, and then define here the field status per company code if needed. By now we have seen how we can create the account group and also make field selection based on the account group or even based on company code. However, as you know, once we save a vendor, a number is pulled from the database depending on the account group assigned to our vendor. So for instance, let's quickly go to /nxk01. Over here, once we create a vendor, we have the account group, as you know. Based on the account group, a number range is pulled from the database. But for this number range to be pulled from the database, we need to connect our account group to the number range, which is done via transaction code /nxkn1. That's /nxkn1. Over here, we click on intervals. There you can see a bunch of intervals that are already utilized. We can use one of the number range numbers over here and assign them to one or even multiple account groups. For now, let me create a new one actually. Therefore, we click on the insert line indicator, provide a number, let's say 11. Then we provide a number range, let's say 400,000 till 499,999. Then we can define if it's external or internal. So external means that while creating our vendor, we need to provide a number that will then be given to the vendor. And internal means that the system will itself provide a number for this vendor when we hit the save button. So for us, we will say internal and save. And you can see the number range 11 has been established successfully. Now we need to assign the number range to our account group via transaction code /n obas, that's /n obas. Over here we have our account group that we already created. Now we assign number range 11 and save. So by now, when we now create a new vendor via /oxk01 for instance, then we can insert company code, purchase organization and our new account group ZABC, and you can see we are forwarded to filling up the data. Here over here it says internal, because once we save, a number will be pulled, in this case of the number range 11. So the first vendor would receive the number 400,000, the next one 400,001, and so on. Yeah, and this is basically it for the account group configuration in your ECC system. And also this is quite important to know with regard to S/4HANA. Even though we are using the business partner over there, you should have a good knowledge about vendor and customer account groups beforehand, because of mapping to so-called business partner groupings. I will make a separate video about the so-called vendor sub-ranges and the partner functions configuration. Thanks a lot for watching till the end. I hope you liked the video. If so, then please subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. See you next time.